I need to. Okay, there it is. All right. Sorry about the delay. Sorry, my the software kind of got a glitch. So I was dealing with something private, and I just had to look into that. So we're going to jump into the news, and then towards the end of the news, I'll kind of hint you at what delayed the live stream, and then let you know because I'm going to have to talk to you guys about it. But I'm going to have to do it off YouTube because some of the things that I will need to say needs to be off YouTube. Okay, so here's the news for today. Okay, this is old news because this happened yesterday, and Senator Liz Warren was confronted about the discovery that New Jersey essentially had over 6,600 non-citizens registered to vote in New Jersey. Of course, President Trump said that the actual number is over 30,000. And here's her response, her very open and transparent response of shock about the fact that the election system, the electoral system, isn't secure, just like President Trump said last week.
Hi, just a quick question for you. I know you're vehemently opposed to the Save America Act, but does the recent revelation in New Jersey with the aliens who are actually registered to vote change your opinion on getting that legislation passed?
Look, it is already illegal for someone who's not an American citizen to vote, period.
But
That's
there's
the
at
law.
least 400 aliens that did vote.
There are already laws to prevent that.
Well, do you
And
think
if
anything's gonna
people
happen?
have violated the law, then they should be prosecuted.
Do you think
Easy.
anything's actually going to
Easy.
happen? I thought Democrats always said that there's no evidence of
I
legal
don't
voting.
understand why you want laws that are already there. That
they're not
makes no
being-
sense.
But I thought Democrats said illegals never vote, but obviously they do, right? Thank you, Senator.
So that was her very eloquent response to actual evidence of wrongdoing from the Democrats. The Democrats have always said that President Trump wants to use this accusation of a failed electoral system or a compromised electoral system as an excuse to enact his draconian laws and rules and when they are confronted with real evidence, they run away. Now, this post that was reposted by President Trump over here essentially claims that over 89,000 illegal votes were counted in the Nevada 2020 election, not including voting machines, anomalies, vote flips, fake ballots, and other forms of fraud. Biden's margin of victory in Nevada was only 33,596 votes. Now, let's listen to this video, and guys, let me know what you think.
More than once, according to your work in this. 42,000 people. 1,500 people voted. 42,000 people in Nevada voted more than once, according to your work in this. 42,000 people. 1,500 people voted in Nevada that were dead. 19,000 people voted though they did not live in Nevada and they weren't a college student. 8,000 people voted from a non-existent address. 15,000 people voted though they were registered to a commercial address or a vacant address. And 4,000 people voted in Nevada that are non-citizens. My question to you is, in my state, when someone votes twice, and we do have that occasionally, and about 50 times a year that actually occurs in our state, we prosecute individuals that vote twice. Of this 130,000 instances that you have identified from the 2020 election in Nevada, do you know of any prosecutions currently going on in Nevada for any voter fraud?
Not yet, Senator, and that's extremely important. These laws have to be enforced. We, of course, I represent the Trump campaign and the campaign's electors. I don't represent the government. We can't bring prosecutions. But if we are going to enforce voter integrity laws, they must be enforced, and we are confident that although it often takes a long time to put together a fraud case, although it takes prosecutors months, sometimes even years, to go through subpoenas and warrants and using the FBI to go investigate these things, once a good hard look at these cases is examined, an honest look, if we do that, there should be charges brought, because the ranking member brought up in his remarks that when you lose the principle of one person, one vote, the end result is authoritarian.
All right. So, President Trump, however, is being attacked of being the authoritarian because he wants to ensure that votes are secure and elections can be trusted. Now, this is a video of him promising that the elections would actually be, that he would make moves to secure the elections. And let's have a listen to this video of Trump making that promise.
On the 2020 election, is there any more information on the special prosecutor? So many Americans still have questions about the 2020 election. And speaking of rogue judges, would you consider appointing somebody at DOJ maybe to investigate the judges that allowed for the political persecution of you, your family, and your supporters during the Biden administration?
I love you. Who are you?
Sarah from Lindell TV.
Well, it's just a very nice question. And it's not a setup. I have no idea who you are, but I appreciate that question. All I can say is we're not here for that. I hope so. I hope they're doing a thing, because that election was rigged and stolen, and we can't allow that to happen. You know, a lot of people tell me, sir, you just won the greatest election in the history of our country. You won at numbers that won all 7 swing states, won the popular vote, won everything. Sir, go on with your life. And many people that say that, good people, friends of mine. Then you have people that say that same thing, go on with your life, but you have to find out what happened, because you can't let that happen again. Look at what this lunatic did. Look at what he did. He opened our borders to people that were murderers, 11,888 to be exact, murderers. And we've captured many of those murderers, and we're bringing them back, or some of them are so dangerous that we don't even want to bring them back. We're afraid they're going to try and come back in. But he allowed people to come into this country, people from mental institutions, insane asylums, that's a mental institution on steroids, people from mental institutions, gang members, drug dealers, people, jails being emptied out into our country. Venezuela emptied out almost its entire prison population into our country. But I don't want to blame them. Many countries have done that. The Congo, we have a great press conference coming up later, and it's the Congo and Rwanda. They were fighting for years, and it was machetes, it was vicious, it was as vicious, people's heads being chopped off. And I have a man who's very good in that part of the world, very smart, and put them together, and we're signing a peace treaty today.
So he was, how President Trump weaves. Now he's talked about the election. He's very sore about the 2020 election, and most of you are. And it's good that we're seeing some movement with that, with his speech last week, which of course ABC and NBC refused to air. CNN refused to air it. And we're going to listen to what CNN had to say later about the fact that there were actual cases of non-citizens registered to vote, and a number of them voting. We're going to hear them own up to the fact that they were wrong. Okay, we're gonna, talk. We're gonna listen to that. Intergalactic Wrangler says going into the elevator for no reason makes no sense. Well, she was trying to escape. Okay, Liz Warren was simply trying to get out of there because she had no answer, for the questions that were being asked. Intergalactic Wrangler also says, I watched an education video on Rwanda. So sad. That is the state of Africa. Intergalactic Wrangler. A lot of tribes now, depending on how Christian an African country is, and I'm saying this very seriously, depending on how much work missionaries did in those countries, that determines how tolerant tribes are of each other. So we don't have so many tribal pogroms happening in Nigeria because the missionaries who came from England and the United States did a great job with the Christianization of the culture, even though it wasn't thorough. But the violence we see today is coming from where? From the Islamic radical cattle rearing migrants who carry submachine guns trying to drive out the Christian population from the northern part of the country. That is what we see. We don't see tribal violence between tribes across the country. It is plainly a religious cleansing that we're seeing happening in northern Nigeria, and so we call it, and it's simply because the missionaries did a great job. For Rwanda, it was a totally different situation, I think, and what happened back then in the 90s was an awful situation, and of course the UN has its hands or is to blame because they essentially pretended everything was fine until it wasn't, or until the world realized it wasn't. Now, with all of this evidence that we've been seeing, what are the Democrats saying? We've seen Liz Warren essentially run away, and she's melting down and running away. With evidence has emerged that you guys are wrong. Illegals are voting. Oh no, there are laws in the books to prevent that. But they are voting. No, there are laws in the books to prevent that. Okay, so I hope she and her cohorts in the Democrat Party remember that statement whenever they begin to mewl and scream about gun control, because there are laws on the books on gun control, but they keep wanting to add more laws to prevent guns from getting into the hands of people they deem unworthy to own guns, vis-a-vis you, dear listener. Now, here is another Democrat congresswoman essentially responding to the revelations of what happened in New Jersey.
Congresswoman Allison Steinberg with Lindell TV. Last time I spoke to you, it was right before Trump's announcement on election interference. You said there was nothing to see, but it's now come out that there was over 280,000 non-citizens on the voter rolls. Does that concern you at all? Does that concern you at all?
That's laughable. That's all I'm going to say about that.
These are declassified documents.
That's ridiculous.
Why is it ridiculous?
Because it's impossibly wrong and absolutely fake news, and you're irresponsible for reporting those kinds of fake stories to the American people.
It's not fake. These documents are real. You think they're just made up? They're just fake documents?
Let me tell you this. If you can name my name, I will answer your question. Who am I?
Representative Chrissy Houlihan.
All right, what's your question?
My question is, you told me there was nothing to see regarding the
These
election
are fake
interference
documents.
announcement.
All of them.
280,000 illegals are on the voter rolls.
Can you point to me one? Can you
It's
find
all
me
on the
10?
website.
Can you find me 20? Can you find me 100? Can you find me 1,000? Can you find me anybody? This is All
They're
right,
all
then
on the
let's
White House
meet.
website.
Let's meet, and
All right, I would be happy to.
We'll find those people
They're
together.
all on the website. It's all declassified
I spend
information.
every day, all day, looking at classified documents. Every day, all day. The president's speech was laughable with its inaccuracies and with its falsehoods. And you're propagating this myth to the American people, which is nothing but destructive to the American way of life. And you should feel embarrassed.
And on that note, if you want to follow up, you can reach her.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
She might as well have responded by screaming, "Shame, shame, shame." She didn't answer the question. She just, kept screaming about how President Trump was spewing inaccurate information. So the inaccurate information suddenly turns out to be accurate because New Jersey just reveals that according to them, over 6,600 voters were not citizens, and a portion of them voted in New Jersey's elections. Now, President Trump released later that it was actually over 30,000. So they don't have a response to the facts. All they want to do is shut down conversations, shut down speech, and scream, "Shame, shame, shame. You should be ashamed of yourself." Now, Senator Tammy Duckworth says she hasn't seen reports on the non-citizen voter registrations. Like these people are just interesting, okay? Because whenever the facts are revealed, here's how they respond.
Senator, following the governor of New Jersey's announcement yesterday regarding the over 6,000 aliens that are actually registered to vote due to a flaw in the system in New Jersey. Does that change the Democrats?
I've not seen that report. I'm sorry.
What about the president's announcement that there's over 250,000 aliens registered to vote?
I have not seen any of those reports, so I'm not at liberty to comment on it. Thank you.
They were recently declassified. Will you take a look at them? Because
I've not seen the reports. So when I get to see the reports, I will certainly. But certainly, we don't have such problems in Illinois. Thank you.
until we find out they have those problems in Illinois. Now, isn't Illinois one of those blue states that have refused to make their voter rolls available to the DOJ? Okay, aren't they the ones suing? Aren't they part of the group suing the federal government for asking for the voter rolls? Someone let me know in the chat. Open Forum 1 says, what is she afraid of? She's afraid. Look, they've been caught in a lie, and all they're doing is lashing out, hoping that something sticks, hoping that they can shut down the conversation, or hoping that they can shut down speech. That's what's going on. All right, you know it, I know it. Now, the question is, are we going to cower and slink away into that good night and let them, do whatever they want? Or are we going to continue to hold their feet to the fire? That's the question. Well, thank you, Open Forum 1, for I think you're a first-time chatter. So it's my first time of seeing you in the chat. Okay, so if you're watching for the first time, please consider liking this video. It helps the channel out a whole lot. And if you're feeling more generous, please consider subscribing to the channel and hitting the bell icon. Now, the very interesting uniform reactions continue. Here is another congressperson, Democratic Representative Maxwell dismisses 250,000 illegal aliens on voter rolls, then watches the same story break on live camera. This is just interesting to watch.
Hi guys, just curious to get your thoughts on President Trump's big announcement last week regarding election interference. Obviously, these new declassified documents have come out showing that there's over 250,000 aliens registered to vote. I mean, is that not concerning to you?
I mean, we want to make sure that, we have free and fair elections, and we already have laws in the books that help us deal with this kind of stuff.
So wouldn't the Save America Act be the perfect piece of legislation to pass to ensure that only legal citizens are voting?
I mean, by and large, only legal citizens are voting in elections across our country, and there's just no proof of mass voter fraud and mass numbers of people going to vote that aren't supposed to vote. It's just not true. It's been litigated.
There's not one single instance to your knowledge of this happening? I mean, if there even was like some close call, wouldn't it be worth like passing solid legislation to ensure this actually never happens? Because
I think it's worth enforcing the laws we have on the books that help us deal with this already. I don't think it's worth passing legislation that would make it harder for law-abiding citizens to cast their ballot.
It's interesting that they don't have this argument whenever they talk about gun control.
Wouldn't it get harder?
Like everyone should think. Well, yeah.
Would it make it harder?
I think the average person should think about this. When you go to vote by mail, do you want to have to Xerox copy your ID and send it in with your ballot? Like, the average person, whether you're Democrat or Republican, hears that and goes, no, that's too much. And that's part of what's in this bill.
But the average American wants secure elections. They want to ensure their vote counts. So wouldn't they be willing to go the extra length to just provide a photo ID and a proof of citizenship, which is documentation virtually every American has?
The average American doesn't want to have to Xerox copy their identification, send it in with their mail-in ballot. What if you're out of ink? What if you don't own a printer? You're just adding all these barriers to voting.
This almost like saying that black people don't know how to find the DMV.
Laws on the books that help deal with this. Let's enforce those laws.
That's breaking news. Making sure.
Yeah, I just saw that. Yeah, they disclosed it. They're going to fix it.
6,600
with laws that they have on the books.
Yeah, the laws they have on the books. It's fascinating to watch these people just lose their minds. Morning, Hickox. Good to see you in the chat. All right, so I'll be making the call-in link available shortly. Just want to go through all of these videos. Now, CNN, which I think I played that video where they claimed that that Trump's claims during his speech were laughable, and they claimed that he was essentially trying to do something illegal, and he was essentially making false claims. That is what they said last week in response to the speech. Now, here they are responding to the revelations of the incident at New Jersey?
This is obviously not a great situation. She acknowledged that. But it also doesn't demonstrate that there's widespread voter fraud in New Jersey or anywhere.
In New Jersey? 6,600 non-citizens made it onto the voter rolls. That's okay. To me, is pretty widespread voter fraud.
They're still saying there's no widespread voter fraud. These people are incorrigible.
It's widespread?
Yeah, I think it'd be pretty bad if one person who's not a legal citizen in the United States.
The number of registered voters in the state?
New Jersey spends $60 billion over that overall on its budget. So I think if we're seeing...
Yeah, but I mean, you just said it's widespread. So where's the proof that it's widespread?
6,600 non-citizens made it onto the voter rolls.
That is 0.006% of registered voters in the state. Mikey Sherrill, she won her
I don't think it invalidates her election.
She won her election by 500,000 votes. There were 3.3 million ballots cast in that election. 400 ineligible voters. Let's say, because we don't even know, let's say they all voted for her, which maybe they did.
Yeah, it still
maybe
wouldn't invalidate the election.
That would be about 1/100% of all the votes cast. Yeah. Widespread?
Yeah, 6,600 non-citizens made it onto the voter rolls. That's pretty bad. I think.
Hold on, widespread.
Yeah.
6,600 people who were inadvertently registered to vote. The vast majority of them never cast a ballot, and you're calling 400 maybe ballots cast by people who were registered as Republicans, as Democrats, as Independents, as widespread in a state where there are 6.8 million registered voters?
Yeah, I'm with the governor of New Jersey on this. I think it's a pretty big problem.
That math doesn't math.
Well, I didn't say it invalidated Mikey Sherrill's election
I didn't say you said that, but I also dispute the idea that there's any proof that this is widespread.
I think there are thousands of non-citizens on the voter rolls in New Jersey, and I'm pretty concerned about that. I would call it a widespread problem. I think the bigger problem here is that...
What's your definition of widespread, by the way? Is it 1%? Is it 2%?
I don't know, more than 100? I think it's a big problem. What's yours?
What's your tolerance for this?
Hold on.
So CNN, when confronted with evidence, is still running cover for the crime and the criminals, just like the Democrats are doing. When we say that these people are mouthpieces of the Democrat Party, we're not exaggerating. We're not exaggerating. Now, is Fox News the mouthpiece of the Republican Party? That can be argued, but whenever we look at the arguments being presented by a Fox News and the opposing argument coming from a CNN, one tends to be more factual and stays with the argument, while the other simply tries to avoid facts and throw innuendo out there, hoping that something sticks. Now, remember the election, the company that's meant to handle all the data that the governor of New Jersey threw under the bus. Well, they've been contacted, and here's the feedback that was received.
As you know, last night, the New Jersey governor admitted that 6,600 illegal aliens had made it onto New Jersey's voter rolls. At least that number, it could be a lot larger. And 400 of them actually cast a vote. That is the largest number of foreigners ever to vote in any collection of an election in American history. When we told you that last night, the governor said, not our fault. It was a software glitch. No big deal. Well, overnight, we reached out to the software company that runs New Jersey's system. And you know what they said? There's no software glitch at all. The state of New Jersey knew they were putting non-citizens, i.e. foreigners, onto the voter rolls. It is the state's responsibility to determine who is eligible to vote and who's not. The software had it marked right.
Now, I have made the call-in link available. You can jump on the link and let's have a conversation. We have several videos that we'll be going over, but let's talk about what we've watched so far. So the call-in link is available. Make use of it if you want to be a part of the conversation.
That is a major contradiction. And just a little while ago, the Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights in the U.S. Justice Department, Harmeet Dillon, announced that there is an investigation of New Jersey now into whether they knowingly were allowing non-citizens to vote and to get on the voter rolls. Remember, a week ago, she sent a letter out saying, if you let non-citizens vote knowingly, you're in trouble. Well, now the vendor's comments raised a very strong possibility that one of the blue states in America may have acceded to allowing non-citizens to vote. We're going to keep a close eye on that. Hope to get Harmeet Dillon on the show the next couple of days to describe what is going on. But that is a big thing.
Yeah, so that's That's the report. Of course, we did cover that yesterday. Hickox is on the call. How are you doing this morning, sir?
I'd be doing a lot better if I didn't have to wake up to a bunch of nonsense from these Democrats.
Well, it's part of the routine now. Like we wake up and they're doing what they do, and sadly, like we're going to have to look forward to more of that in the future.
Yeah, no, it's one of those things that you just can't get away from. Yeah, whenever I heard from whenever we heard about the New Jersey illegals being on the voter rolls, we already knew that that's what was going on. Again, the Democrats weren't wanting to hand over the voter rolls, but now they're going to have to.
Yeah.
New Jersey just came out and opened up Pandora's box for the Democrats. So now all of the other Democratic states are going to have to hand over their voter rolls for the simple fact that we know that they're on there. And
well, most of them are suing. I think I asked if Illinois was one of the states that sued to not have to release their voter rolls. And most of them are trying to, they try to cover up the crime and claim that President Trump is a tyrant who doesn't respect the rule of law, since they are in courts trying to prevent the federal government from examining the voter rolls to make sure that illegals aren't voting. And that's the frustrating thing that personally I see. I see a valid question about the security of the elections. And then we have Democrats like Liz Warren and everyone else that we've watched on the show pretend like there's no problem. And once you point out that there's a problem, they try to shame you and shut you up and tell you, okay, like this lovely peach of a lady, this lovely peach of a lady where's that video, who essentially claims that she hasn't seen anything. She says she hasn't seen anything, that she wants the reporter to point out one. So like, let's listen to her, then you talk about this.
Illegals are on the voter rolls.
Can you point to me one? Can you
It's
find
all
me
on the
10?
website.
Can you find me 20? Can you find me 100? Can you find me 1,000? Can you find me anybody? This is
So you hear stuff like that.
You got to give me some context on that, because that was nothing.
All right.
What the heck happened there?
All right. Hold on. Let's start from the very beginning.
Hi, Congresswoman Allison Steinberg with Lindell TV. Last time I spoke to you, it was right before Trump's announcement on election interference. You said there was nothing to see, but it's now come out that there was over 280,000 non-citizens on the voter rolls. Does that concern you at all? Does that concern you at all?
That's laughable. That's all I'm going to say about that.
These are declassified documents.
That's ridiculous.
Why is it ridiculous?
Because it's impossibly wrong and absolutely fake news, and you're irresponsible for reporting those kinds of fake stories to the American
It's not fake. These documents are real. You think they're just made up? They're just fake documents?
Let me tell you this. If you can name my name, I will answer your question. Who am I?
Representative Chrissy Houlihan.
All right, what's your question?
My question is, you told me there was nothing to see regarding the
These
election
are fake
interference
documents.
announcement.
All of them.
280,000 illegals are on the voter rolls.
Can you point to me one? Can you
It's
find
all
me
on the
10?
website.
Can you find me 20? Can you find me 100? Can you find me 1,000? Can you find me anybody? This is All right, then let's meet.
Website.
Let's meet, and
All right, I would be happy to.
We'll find those people
They're
together.
all on the website. It's all
I
declassified
spend
information.
every day, all day, looking at classified documents. Every day, all day. The president's speech was laughable with its inaccuracies and its falsehoods. And you're propagating this myth
got the
to the
point
American
now.
people, which is nothing but.
Oh, she was giving me a headache. Oh, perfect. Stop. Oh my God.
Dottie Reed says she's trying to lie her way out of it.
It's not even that she's trying to lie her way out of it. It's the fact that if somebody needs to get one of those big old cartoon paddles made of common sense and just smack her with it. All right. Wow. All right. Can anybody in the chat answer me this? How can people be that stupid? Golly.
Dottie says she's the one that's laughable. Intergalactic Wrangler says pathetic. How the F people like this get? How the F people like this get elected? Look.
Yeah, I agree with that. How?
And he says fraud, and I'm like, yeah, well, there's fraud, but like I keep talking about here, like it's really about more people with common sense turning up to vote at all levels. Like conservatives for years, and this is my conviction, this is what I believe, because I was one of them. Okay, conservatives for years just want to be left alone. We've been raised to believe that elections and politics are dirty, and we'd rather not discuss them at the dinner table. I was one of those people, and for decades, look, I didn't vote until I was maybe 42. The first time I voted, I think I was 42 years old. No, that's wrong. No, that's wrong. That's wrong. I think first time I voted was about, let's see, I was 30. I was in my mid 30s then, maybe 35. Okay. Second time I voted, I was about 42. Like, I didn't start voting because I was raised to believe that politics was dirty. You don't mess with it. And if you don't mess with it, it won't mess with you. But we were wrong, because right now it's messing with all of us. Dottie says you can't fix stupid. Well,
Dottie, I agree with you.
So we get to watch this again and again every day. We get to scream at the screen because, first off, they said Trump was spreading misinformation, and then ABC and NBC decided that they wouldn't air the speech. The day after, CNN shows up, actually the same night, they showed up to claim that Trump was lying and everything he said was false. And they claimed that he was unhinged. And that was how he set up a task force to investigate an election that he won because he didn't win the popular vote in 2016. That was CNN repeating their talking points last week. This week it's been revealed that Trump was right. And what does Abby Phillips spend the entirety of this segment doing? Essentially trying to make excuses for why illegals voted in New Jersey's elections and trying to downplay it to say it's only a 0.1% of a fraction of a fraction. And I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. I thought you guys said it didn't happen. Now that it's been proven that it happened, you're downplaying the impact on the elections. The question is, okay, what are the real numbers? Because what was released by New Jersey is a sanitized number. The real numbers, according to President Trump, is that it's over 30,000. Okay, New Jersey says it's 6,600. The report on Trump's desk is that it is over 30,000. Now multiply that across the states of the union. What does that look like?
Oh, it's going to be a hell of a lot larger. I mean, for one, we've got California. I can almost guarantee you that that's going to be hundreds of thousands, if not close to 1 million. It's going to be bad whenever it finally comes out. That's why they're trying to hide it. With New Jersey, they're just really bad at hiding information. I don't know if you saw the information I sent you yesterday, where Doing a little research after listening to New Jersey. Find out that their what was it? Department of Corrections inmate database.
Yeah.
They had blacks and Hispanics listed as white.
Can you share that screen?
Oh,
From your end. You know, I saw that report. I think that was last week, and it ties in with all of the numbers that we've been sold about how there's more violence coming from the right, about how that how the black communities are suffering more racist violence than their own people murdering them in their own communities. And then now we're seeing in the Department of Corrections, the numbers are being fudged to make it look like white people are more violent, are the ones who are being incarcerated for violent crime than other races. Like, why is it that way? You see it on the news whenever there's a mass shooting or violent crime, the anchors are really slow at calling the race when it is actually someone from a minority group. But whenever it's a white person, they're really quick to jump up and say, "Hey, this was a white male." All right, there it is.
This has a video to it, but I actually wanted to read part of it.
Yeah.
It says here, a shocking review of New Jersey's Department of Corrections inmate database has revealed that critics are calling a blatant distortion of public records, with numerous black and Hispanic offenders being classified as white, despite clear evidence to the contrary. Let's see.
I think it's muted.
Yes.
Or when you shared the tab or the screen, are you browsing on Mozilla?
No.
Okay, try playing it. If it doesn't play, then send me the link. I'll quickly. Okay, go ahead.
White.
Okay, good.
And you can go to this website. It's for all the New Jersey mugshots, and put in the race white, and you're gonna see several non-white men. Imagine if they did this in reverse. Imagine if white men were getting arrested and being put down as black as their race. The rest would flip out. And this is quietly happening across the nation. So all those statistics about black and brown men committing a disproportionately high amount of violent crime, it's actually worse. We have to start facing reality, because this is a problem.
Okay, so here we are on the State of New Jersey Department of Corrections. This is their website where you can just go and you can search for mugshots of who's in jail. So for the filter, all I did was put in white with dark hair. And the reason why I selected dark hair is because if you just put in white, it says it's too many results. So this is white with dark hair. So let me just show you this here. Look, do these people look white to you? Just take a look here. Let's just scroll down, and I opened some of these so you can see. Now, this is just the first page. So I'm going to go over people that are booked as white that are just on the first page. And
he's white.
Look down here. See where it says race, white? Pay attention to that as we go through them. Does this guy look white to you? Let's go to the next one. Does that guy look white to you? I think he's more potentially Mexican.
Hispanic.
Alvarez Juan is white.
I mean, Alvarez. Last name Alvarez. Come on.
This guy, I don't know about him. He looks maybe Arab, but he's booked again as white. Right down here, you can see. Let's go to the next one. Another white guy, apparently. Clearly not white. Here we go again. Another Acosta. This is a white guy, apparently, to New Jersey. Here we go again. Another probably Muslim, potentially. But again, he's booked as white. And let's look again here. We have another Castillo, clearly Mexican, booked as white. And back to the page. So again, all of these are just on the first page. I mean, just imagine this nationwide. They are completely destroying our crime statistics by just booking all these minorities as white. None of these people are white.
I agree with you, Intergalactic.
So this is the kind of insanity that we get we get to see regularly. Like, I see tons of these videos in my feed regularly. And you know how the term black fatigue has begun to make the rounds? Democrat fatigue right now is where I am. It's it's like almost like whenever a Democrat's lips are moving, like they're lying. And I don't want to feel that way. I don't want to feel that way about anyone, but evidence after evidence just shows that it's almost like the party is all sold out to just lying about things.
Well, I wouldn't have to just classify it as one type of fatigue. I think just the entire world is fatigued in general. Anything and everything that just doesn't make sense. With these crazy leftists, got the crazy hair, got the bull nose ring. Tired of them, right? You got the trans activist party where you have to say my pronoun. Fatigued about that? No, I don't. You can't make me do something. You got the Democrats. Oh, don't believe your lying eyes. Fatigued about that. I could see what's right in front of me. I can hear with my own ears, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, with all of this, we're all done with it. We could see through the nonsense. That's why whenever I watch the Democratic Party, I'm like, why are y'all continuing to lie? Like, you've done been called out. The cat's out of the bag. Just come straight out with it, right?
Well, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. It's very clear that we're dealing with people who are grossly dishonest. They're not going to admit when they're wrong. When they're caught out on a lie, they're going to continue to double down, like Liz Warren did, and we're going to see more of it. And all I think we can do is encourage more people to think for themselves. Just think for yourself.
Wasn't there something didn't I send something about her? What was it? I thought I saw something about her yesterday. Yeah, Elizabeth Warren.
You sent that to me. That was the video.
Oh,
that was
okay.
the video that was featured in that YouTube.
Okay.
Video.
Yeah, whenever she got caught up so much that she literally was trying to flee and couldn't get out of there fast enough. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I've been watching so many. It's not even funny. She right there. I'll tell you right now, she is a complete joke herself. Let me tell you. All right. Have you ever heard of the term Karen?
Yep.
She is the model for that.
It's disappointing that that these are the people who have been either selected or elected to represent the American people, and they are doing a horrible job. But yet you have the likes of CNN and NBC and ABC and all of the C's essentially protecting them. They protect them. I was doing some research a couple of days back on a few things, and one of the things that I realized was whenever there's a scandal on the left, okay, the major news networks that are on the left kind of give it a few seconds, a mention, and then they move on. But whenever there's something similar, or I doubt if there's anything similar on the right, but whenever something like that happens on the right, they give it tons of coverage. Like, look, these people are the worst, and then they spend hours covering those particular scandals. And it is obvious to everyone that the reason why the left continues to essentially look like they are in power per se, like Liz Warren has been in the Senate for how many years, but yet she's as corrupt as all get out. She and Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer and the rest of them are being protected by the media. Okay, just like Obama was protected by the media while he was in office, droning American citizens, trying to deplatform and debank NGOs that represented conservative values and everything else. They didn't cover it. They hid it well because anyone who spoke up against Obama was a pariah. Like these are the things that we've seen for years, and now we're seeing the outcome. You have people like Liz Warren and all the other Democrats we've seen on this show, essentially show that they don't have the integrity to be in leadership in any shape or form. But here they are.
Yeah, no, I agree. One thing I have to say about Democrats is they're all complete failures. I mean, what have they actually done? I haven't seen that one thing that comes out that actually has benefited the American people, especially Democratic voters. What has the if we have any Democrats in the chat, please tell me what has the Democrats done to help you as a voter, as a citizen, as an average everyday person? Because honestly, I would like to know. I mean, if I look back throughout the presidencies, uh, the last one that I could really remember that done good was, and this is probably going to be crazy sounding coming from me, was Bush, right? Bush Jr. The only reason I say that is because he wasn't a great president. He was a funny president. I mean, if we had a president, all right, they talk about Trump being the orange man, right?
Yeah.
Bush was the president that always looked like he was looking at the sun. Yeah. All right, he was a funny president. If you look at Obama, right? What did he do? He's called the deporter in chief at that time, right? Most of those were people leaving by choice or being turned away at the border.
Yeah.
They wasn't actually deportations where it was ICE going in and kicking people out.
Yeah.
So if you actually remove those numbers from his record, then he has nothing. And he made many promises towards the voters, right? That he was gonna help like the black voters and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's nothing there. Well, we get Obamacare, and that's horrible. When we went through Biden, worst 4 years of my entire life. I don't get it. What has Democrats actually done that could leave a legacy? There is nothing.
Well, we have we have a lot to look forward to because, like I said, this isn't going to change. We're going to continue to see Democrats voting these people in because we have news outlets sanitizing their image, whitewashing their image. You have fellow Democrats whitewashing the image of fellow Democrats, like Liz Warren was the one who essentially says that Graham Plattner was the kind of man she wanted.
Listen. I will tell you right now. All right, so I am conflicted on the right to vote. Right?
Yeah.
On one side, I believe everybody should have a voice.
Yeah.
And then whenever I'm using logic, I'm like, not everybody needs to vote. If you're got some type of like problems going on that you don't need to vote. Like we don't need you deciding what's best for this whenever you can't figure out whether you want French fries or tater tots. All right.
But Democrats want felons to be able to vote.
Yeah. Again, it's that whole thing. Hang on. You actually was talking about like with the Second Amendment, right?
Yeah.
It's the exact same thing. They want felons to be able to vote, but they want to get rid of the Second Amendment, right?
Yeah.
But, so anytime that something happens, we say again with a mass shooting, the Democrats are quick. Oh, it's a right-wing attack. Then it comes out that it's a left-wing person. All you hear is crickets. We didn't see anything. It's the exact same thing. They're wanting more voters. I mean, what was it? They're wanting to turn Washington, D.C. into a state. They're
Puerto Rico.
Yeah, Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what's the logic here? They're already within the union. What's the logic of making them a state? Now, if we got part of Canada, cross fingers, everybody. Come on, y'all. Got a part of Canada, and I was on old Disney movie, right? Meet the Robinsons. Whenever he's talking about Canada, I think you mean North Montana, all right? Cross your fingers. But if that was to happen, I could understand Canada, that part of Canada, becoming a state. But Washington, D.C., which is the city, and Puerto Rico, small islands. I mean, my old high school sergeant is from Puerto Rico. Shout outs to Sergeant Ramos out there. If you ever see this, much respect to that man. But yeah, it doesn't make sense. Like, come on.
All right, so I have one video. I thought maybe we'll pass up on this video, but this is a question that people are asking with all of the revelations that we're getting so far about how insecure the elections are. Why are these machines still certified? And there's a lady called Tina Peters who basically is talking about that. I'm curious, and I haven't seen this video before, so we'll watch this and then end the stream. Now, before we proceed, I did say earlier, because we started the stream about 11 minutes late, something came up, and I want to basically talk to you guys about it. Now, I don't discuss these things on the main public live streams. Weeks ago, I decided that I'll do that on the members only live stream. But right now, I feel like I would like to do this on the Discord. I want to take this conversation completely off YouTube for several reasons, which I will talk about during the conversation. So if you're not on the Discord and you want to be part of it, because I'm not going to repeat this on YouTube. I have my reasons for taking this conversation completely off YouTube. Originally, I had the members only gate up so that not everyone could publicly go in there. But I'd rather have this conversation on the Discord. So if you can't make it, I understand. If you don't want to be on Discord, I understand. But I do need to make an update. So I'm going to activate one of the voice channels on the Discord, and I'm going to be posting the invite on the general discussion groups and to most of you who are already connected to me on Discord. I'll make that link available right after this stream, because it's an urgent conversation that I want to have real quick and get it out there. It's a developing situation, and I just want to put it out there and have a conversation with you guys, because I did promise you guys that I was going to keep you guys updated on the immigration journey. So I want to just give an update, and I just want to do that before, because once we're done with this video, and we have our commentary on it, I'll quickly sign off. We're already going to be breaking the hour barrier, so I wouldn't want to linger afterwards. So let's have a listen to this question. Why are these machines still certified?
Let's hone in on the certification of these machines, because they did just recently, the EAC had recently recertified Smartmatic voting machines, right? And they're involved in a federal case where they're accused of bribery. And I know that it's much more than that. Some of that's already come out in the federal filings. I hear there's more to come, but there's enough there, particularly as it relates to the hardware that's made in China, right? And comes through Taiwan. That's already in the federal filings. There's no way they should have been certified. So if you go back and look at the machine again, I mean, I'm not sure. In an honest with an honest election assistance commission, I'm not sure you could certify any machine, Tina.
Well, and that's the goal. The goal is to get rid of machines. You cannot have foreign actors. You cannot have vendors that have that much power where the people, that's not transparent to the people. I put out on my X, I said, here you have John Paulos, a few years ago talking about how he doesn't have to listen to any or abide by any FOIA a request to produce information because he's not a government employee. Well, why are there vendors that like Runback and all these other machine vendors that have so much power over our elections? And no one can look at it. Those people need to be, there's another thing that they can be done. They can be fired as vendors. So there is a process where, and I was in the middle of doing that as clerk, getting rid of Dominion. And right before all this broke with me in August, I had already decided another path to go. We had one year left, not even a year left on our contract with Dominion. I'd already gotten given the evidence and information to the commissioners to go another path, and then hit the fan. That was that, and I had worked on that for almost a year, about 8 months. I'd worked on getting rid of Dominion, bringing in another path, and then all of this broke. And you know what they did in Mesa County? They, without me being present, they signed my name while I was being protected under 24-hour security. They signed my name to a 6-year extension for Dominion. When I found out about it and I objected, the county attorney threatened me. So, we had John Paulos right there meeting with the commissioners, signing contracts to extend and then blamed me for the $1 million that they had to pay to bring in new equipment after they got rid of the old equipment because of the evidence, is what I want to say. So there's a lot of things going on. There's a lot we can do, though, Emerald. I will not give up. I will not back down. There's a lot we can do before the midterms.
If you're not giving up, then none of us should.
So, what do you have to say about what she just said? Because this just sounds like stuff that happens in third world countries, guys.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean, even for they're talking about the election machines for 2020, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so even for my small town, we actually had the black SUVs roll up to our courthouse, and they were there to collect voting machines. But there's no reports on it, no official reports on it. But yet, again, whenever you got a small town of 30 to 40,000 people, word's gonna get around. You can't bypass that.
Yeah.
And we never got an answer on why voting machines were actually picked up here. I know up there in Fulton County, Atlanta, Georgia, they had issues going on up there. which honestly I could tell you was all just a lie. We've got our own problems going up there. But yeah, there was a video. Since the live's gonna be ending soon, I'll send you that one. Where a guy, not a guy, a technician actually went in front of the Georgia Elections Council and said, "I can prove to you how I can get into the voting machines." And he's like, "No, no, 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 no."
It's just corruption, wall to wall corruption. Like, they signed her name to extend the contract. Anyone who talked about Dominion essentially got their lives destroyed. If they were too big to destroy, they got fired, and a deal like Tucker Carlson. Like, it's really concerning. And remember, yesterday I talked about this company that essentially is beholden to the country of France and BlackRock and Vanguard. And that's the company that essentially is going to take over identity verification in place of the former one that the New Jersey governor is accusing of being responsible for registering 6,600 foreign nationals as voters in New Jersey. You're seeing this happening. And when I look at this, the question I always ask is, and why is nobody kicking up a fuss about this? On one hand, people don't know. On the other hand, even when you mention it, you get so roundly attacked, your life gets destroyed, like this lady, like Tucker Carlson. Even though Tucker Carlson has gone sideways, that's not the topic of this live stream. But when he did talk about it, they went after him. He got fired. And whenever you see that happening, is because they want to instill fear in the rest of us, to tell us, if you do that, if you ever step out of line, we will destroy you. So it's really concerning. So the answer is essentially to why are these machines still certified? It's just corruption. It's just people, like the rot has run so deep that anyone who tries to push back against it gets instantly eaten up.
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. Let's see here. Intergalactic says, them machines look so analog and dystopian, clockwork, wizardry, apocalyptic, steampunk, barbarism. They came from Venezuela and made in China. See, no, I can actually believe that. I would believe that statement from Intergalactic well over anything Democrats have to say, for the simple fact that well, came from Venezuela, made in China. That seems like that's a fact, because that's what happens.
Well, President Trump did mention it during his speech. He didn't say it in such detail, but he mentioned it. And President Trump is being called a kook. He's crazy. He's spreading misinformation, and he's dangerous. Like we've already heard all of that being said. Yesterday, I don't know if you recall when I played that, was it yesterday or the day before, when I played the interview or the panel on CNN, where the guy who was talking about, I think what they were discussing was there was a violent attack. So much has happened. I think they were talking about something, and then the guy just jumped over to January 6th. And I'm like, these people are still, they're still talking about January 6th. And this is just this week.
Yeah, again, it's that whole deflection thing. They've got to put up a barrier whenever you actually start pulling out new weapons against them. It really gets annoying whenever they do that. And I remember that it's the same thing with the New Jersey voting, right?
Yeah.
How they was talking about there's only a very small percentage. I don't care. That small percentage right now is a cancer in the United States. How do you get rid of cancer? You get a scalpel and you cut it out.
What the Democrats want is for you to tolerate the aberration, to tolerate the crime, to tolerate the fringe behavior. You know, like we only want the right to, you know, for gay people to get married. And then suddenly it's like, okay, now if you even look at a gay person funny, you're going to be accused of intolerance and hate. And now if you want to give someone a job, you're not permitted anymore to look at competence. If you happen to have someone who is of a sexual orientation, they get to rank higher than a white male who is highly qualified. Like it's gotten to that point. So it's all of the allowances that they continue to call for. They call for, okay, let's tolerate just a little election fraud. Oh, you're talking about election fraud, and most of the people are foreign nationals. Well, you must be a racist. You must be a bigot. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about things being done the right way. And every time the conversation gets derailed into becoming a race issue or a bigotry issue, it's very clear they don't want us to talk about it. All right, guys.
Exactly.
Yeah, so let's call it a day. We're going to be back tomorrow, same time tomorrow. If you're just joining and you've enjoyed the conversation so far, consider liking the video. And if you're feeling frisky and generous, please subscribe and hit the bell icon. We're going to be back tomorrow, same time, 10 a.m. Eastern. If something pops off this evening, I'm not sure if anything will. Everyone has settled into the rhythm of Iran getting bombed. So no one is going to freak out when more bombs land on Iran tonight. But if something huge happens, then maybe we'll come on and go live. But that depends. I'm going to be having this conversation with you guys on Discord. Please, if you haven't joined the Discord is where the community is congregating. I have zero trust in YouTube now. Like, I had a call with my wife, delayed. Some things were said, and I wanted to share that with you guys on the Discord, not on YouTube, because it is connected to YouTube. And I felt like, okay, it's either I keep quiet, but I did promise you guys that I was going to be very open about some of the developments that are going on. And I have my suspicions, but I cannot say them here. So it has to be on Discord. If you haven't joined our Discord, the link is in the description of this live stream. Hit the link, join the Discord, and then you will be invited. We have voice channels. Once you join the Discord, and I see that you've been added to the Discord, I will quickly pull you into the voice call. This is personally, I feel it's critical. And I want to talk with you guys as it's happening. I'm going to be making some decisions, and I want you guys to be aware of how those decisions are being made and how they impact my, the channel. Like today, 11 minutes late, and most of you know that I try to be as early as I can be. So that was really something. And I want to talk with you guys about what I think is going on. And how it might affect the way I show up. It's not like I'm going to be disappearing, but I'm just going to be telling you guys some information that I feel you guys need to know. So consider joining the Discord, please. If you still feel like you don't need to be on Discord, I can respect that, but the information will no longer be, this information on my journey will no longer be discussed on YouTube in any format, whether it's members only or a general conversation. I might mention that I'm on a journey, but the details will no longer exist on YouTube for several reasons. So I'm going to be from when we end here, I'm going to be activating the room. I'm going to be pulling in those of you who are already signed up on the Discord into the room, and then we're going to start having that conversation. I don't want to spend all day trying to have this conversation. So as many of you as can jump in, we'll have the conversation and we'll leave it at that. And future conversations will be happening only on the Discord. So you guys will understand why by the time I start having that conversation. So I'm sorry for everyone else who has been benefiting from the members only conversations, but those of you who can make it to the Discord will understand why I am taking all conversations off of YouTube from now on. When I share a few things that, at least one or two things that I have to say. All right, so guys, thank you so much. Hickox, you have any parting words?
The only thing though is for those that are joining in, yes, come and join us on Discord. I'd love to hear from you. I want to hear everybody's thoughts and opinions. We need to come together.
All right, thank you so much. Now, there's a link to the Discord. The link to the Discord is in the description of this live stream. You can click on it, sign in, and then from that point on, you're a part of the inner community. There's so much to say, but I'm going to be keeping some of those thoughts away from YouTube for now, because of the things I'm going to be sharing on the Discord. So thank you all so much for being a part of this show. I loved hanging out, and I hope to catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye.